Welcome to the Truth to Power show and happy Easter. And tonight I have a very interesting guest. His name is Robert X, and he is out of Chicago. He's going to be talking about some political things here, what is really going on, what was going on behind the scenes with the G20 summit, and he's going to be talking about the IMF Bank. And some more things that's going on here. So he's going to look at the behind the scenes, what is really going on. You know, this is information that you're not going to get from mainstream media. This is information that you'll only get from Blog Talk and Truth to Power radio station. Now, let me see if this is my guest, Robert X. Robert X, is this you?
This is me, sister. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you for coming on tonight.
Not a problem, not a problem. As I told you in your email, I consider it a privilege anytime people want to hear what I have to say.
Well, we definitely want to hear what you have to say. And you are going to talk about what is going on with that G20 summit that the president just went through, and the IMF banks and the matrix, and there's a lot of things here.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I hope we can cover most of it, but at least we can cover things that people can kind of put their hands on and put their minds on to get an idea of what's really happening here, because it's not really what we think. I think it's instructive that all you heard at the conclusion of that particular so-called G20 was New World Order, New World Order, New World Order. In the European press, almost all of their media had headlines the next day, New World Order. 20 years ago, when we were telling people about New World Order, we were called conspiracy theorists and, wackos and all of this kind of stuff. That's no longer the case today. I think people are finally starting to open their eyes and see what's really going on out here.
And that's true, because you're hearing it on the quote-unquote mainstream media now, where, we were just the Internet people and the people behind the scenes were talking about this, but it's coming out to mainstream now.
And you're absolutely right, sister, and I think that it's instructive for people to understand. The Internet is a very dangerous application. As I've been able to document, it is, in fact, the thing that they're going to be moving everybody towards, which is what the sister who wrote the book and the movie will subsequently come out after that, called The Matrix. It is the thing that everyone will be hooked up to.
Well, so you're saying that we are in the matrix now.
You're actually in the matrix when you're born. We didn't call it such. The military-industrial complex had moved to the degree that they've moved now to implement the thing, because that's where the Internet comes from. It came from the military-industrial complex. It wasn't just put out here by happenstance. It was put out here at the time it was purposely under the Clinton administration. So anybody can go and do a search on the web and find out exactly where the Internet came from. And we did a little scenario dealing with the history of nets and things like that to give people kind of an overview of what the Internet is really all about. Actually, it's about controlling the minds of the people, and that's why they've attempted to put it in the schools all over the country. And for that matter, Bill Gates would subsequently give computers to people in so-called third world countries. Now, they won't feed them, but they want you to hook up to the net.
Right. And then isn't Bill Gates' father is the Secretary of Defense? What's his name? Gates?
No, they're not related. However,
okay.
His father, because remember now, Bill Gates is a college dropout, yet he's perhaps either number one or number two, the richest man on the planet. Okay. But it's interesting that his father had connections to the military-industrial complex, and that's how he was able to use Apple Computer along with Bill Jobs to get their foot in the door in terms of the entire computer apparatus. They used the intelligence connections to make that possible. They didn't just work out of no garage, and which is what the mainstream media would have you believe, that they were just two guys that worked out of their garage and came up with this called Apple. That's not the case. And I think it's also interesting, sister, that, for cutting you off, but as we speak now, there is a major move afoot fostered by the Obama administration to gain control of the Internet during times of emergency.
So that's how come he used the Internet when he ran for office.
That is correct. The presidency is a step-by-step process. It doesn't matter who the president is. It's the people who are behind him who have a particular agenda. These are the people that are pushing the New World Order, such that Bill Clinton had something that he was to put in place, George Bush had something that he was to put in place, and now Barack Obama has something to put that he's to put in place. That is why, with all of the scandals that went on with all of these preceding administrations, the next administration always throws cold water on all the laws that were broken by the prior administration. And you see now that Barack Obama is in fact strengthening some of the most dangerous laws that Bush put in place.
So what is Obama's agenda?
His agenda is to, in fact, get everybody acclimated to the Internet. That's what he used during his campaign. That's what he's using now to allegedly keep in touch with people and to organize people and to move everybody towards the digital age, where now they want everybody to have access in this country through the Internet. That's why they're pushing the digital revolution.
Okay, and so once they get everybody connected to the Internet, then what?
We see now that globally, which is one of the things that came out of the G20, they're attempting to move various sectors of the planet into areas where they work together to form single currencies, such that you have that wants to put in place one single currency for all the countries in Africa. You've got a European Union, which is the EU, where you now have the euro. You've got so-called Union of the Americas here in this country, in Mexico and Canada, where they're talking about the Amero. You've got a Middle Eastern Union with some of the Middle Eastern countries, where they're trying to put in place their particular currency, and you have an Asian Union in Asia where all the Asians are coming together to push their particular currency. Once these currencies systematically are put in place, they'll then begin to move towards something that was on the Economist magazine a few years back, I think in February '88. I don't have that right in front of me right now, but I will have it before we get off. Something called the Phoenix